Hey everyone, Brandy Von Holton here, and it is time for your dissection of the CT2V Rulebook. All right, so if you're following along, this is week 7. So if you're like just now tuning in, then there's 6 of these before this where I am going page by page. So let's get started. All right, I'm on page 12 of the CT2V Rulebook. And we're going to be talking about the Buckaroo Division, the Youth Division, Futurity, Greenhorn, and a new division that we have this year called the Trailblazer Division. All right, so here we go. Buckaroo is 8 and under lead line or any age special needs. They could be 65 years old and be in Buckaroo. If they are special needs, any age, we want them to have a lot of fun being led around, okay? So, well, and you don't have to be actually led around. Uh-oh, my thing says slow connection. Hopefully it will, oh, okay, that went away. Actually, so let's talk about that before we get started. You do not have to have your hands on the horse. You could be, or mule or whatever, you could be right there beside them, okay? So they can, we have different ages. I mean, it's up to 8 years old. So they could be completely led around, or they could have a hold of the reins and you lead them, or you could just be present, okay? And with the special needs, you can do whatever you need to do, okay? Wherever the heck they're at, we will make amends. We'll do whatever we need to do to help help that person to be successful. Okay, so here we go. Buckaroo says the Buckaroo Division is a lead line division intended to include the younger family members in the excitement of competing. The Buckaroo Division will only compete on the obstacle course, okay? And may use an equine that is competing with another rider. Okay, so like if you are a person that's competing in like Wrangler, then that same equine can be used for Buckaroo, okay? Age is determined as of January 1st, so we could actually have a 9-year-old that's a kid that's in Buckaroo because maybe they turned 9 on January 2nd. Well, their age is determined just like our horses. It's January 1st. And hey Liz Jolly, I see you. Hey. Anyways, Buckaroo is also open to any age special needs rider. And every entry will receive a ribbon and or prize. And a Buckaroo will do any 6 of the 10 obstacles. If they do more, the first 6 will be judged. Different abilities will go before Buckaroo. Okay, so let's talk about this here. So you have 10 obstacles, and but you're only going to be judged on 6 of them. The reason that I did that is, you know, what if I have you do the water box sometimes? Some of these horses, I mean, even the ones that are dead broke, are scared to death of that water box, and I did not need a lead liner on there and the horse jump the water box and then they fall off. Or maybe I have you doing a big step up, you know, where the horse has to really like lurch forward to get up that. Well, I didn't want a 3-year-old person to be on a horse and having to do that big step up. You gotta give me 1 second. My dog's trying to come in. So, come on. All right, I'm back. Okay, so that's why we had some wiggle room in there. You don't have to do all the obstacles because we're trying to promote safety, okay? And I don't know why I have that the different abilities will go before Buckaroo. I don't know why it had to be set in stone. Actually, to tell you the truth, excuse me, we kind of wiggle and jiggle with our Buckaroos because like one year, for example, we had, it was at nationals, at the national championship. Typically we do all the competitors because the horses can be reused, right? for Buckaroo, like, you know, people that are competing in all these different divisions, then they might have a child that's doing that. Well, at Nationals, it was just the Buckaroo competitor, and that horse that they were competing on wasn't being used for another division. So instead of having that child wait all freaking day, right, we had them just go first. So we're real lenient. We'll look and see who is signed up, and, you know, if we can get them done first, then we try to do that. We'll just try to work with people, you know. We're not like set in stone on that. We just, you know, I know having a child there for like 5 hours waiting to go, that's a lot. So, all right. Youth 15 and under. So once again, we could actually have a 16-year-old that's in youth if their birthday is after January 1st. Okay, January 1st determines their age. So I chose 15 instead of 18 because 18-year-olds to me are adults, you know. They, you know, I didn't want to make the youth division way too young because I know we've got, so by the way, youth competitors, if they're a 14-year-old that is like riding and kicking everybody's butt, they don't have to ride in youth. They can ride in youth, but they don't have to. Okay, so just a little bit of moving around can happen. So here we go. It says a youth can earn money and ride in the youth division. A lot of times, a lot of associations, as soon as you make $1 doing something, like you won $50 doing something, put you in a pro division. As soon as you've won money, I don't care if they've won money, okay? We don't force them to ride in the pro division. So a youth can earn money and ride in the youth division until they're no longer eligible due to their age. Okay. At that time, if they choose to no longer earn money in the equine industry as a trainer, the rider is then eligible to ride in the appropriate division based on their riding ability. Youth can choose to compete in a division other than youth, but not with the same equine. All right. So no double dipping. I don't like double dipping. Okay. What I mean by double dipping is have like a youth ride one horse and then have that same horse rode by someone else, and it gives them like a leg up. Nope, not doing all that, because I want apples to be compared to apples and oranges to be compared to oranges. I don't want money or someone finding another rider for their horse to dictate if their horse has already gotten like a time through the obstacles or a time through the ranch horsemanship pattern. So that's when we did that. So if they have a horse, like they've got a horse named Leroy or whatever, then they can either ride that horse in youth or they can ride that horse in a different division, but they don't get to do it in both. Okay. All right, next one, futurity. I love our futurity division because it is for 3 through 5 year olds. Do you know a lot of associations have futurity as 2 and 3 year olds, right? My favorite horse is a horse named Glamour, and she was just like small frame, and we waited to ride her until she was like 4. But then like my large Palomino, my God, he was like born to, you know, pull something. So he was a large baby. Anyways, he was rode younger because of just his bone structure. So we open that up. The futurity is 3 through 5 year olds, and it says open to any level of rider. So you can be a pro in there. You could be a child. You could be whatever you want to be. Okay, and ride in the futurity. It's typically one of our smaller divisions, you know, because you've only got a small window for those horses, and sometimes they're not broke at that age. So anyways, it's typically a smaller division. We used to just have futurity at the national championship, but this was, I needed to divide up our greenhorn division, so I added the futurity all year long, because greenhorn was like we had 1 month, I think there was like 19 or 18 entries in it, so that division needed to be divided up. So now we have a division for the younger horses. All right, right here, equine must be 3 to 5 years of age. Equine must be shown in a snaffle or here we go, we're going to argue about how this word is said, but is a bosel or a basel, okay? Equine can only be shown 2 years total in futurity/greenhorn, combined or other divisions. Foundations does not count towards the 2-year count, okay? So if you've got a horse and you show it in foundations, that doesn't count as like one of the 2 years for futurity and greenhorn, especially if you're trying to develop a younger horse. Age determined by registration papers. Okay, so what if you're riding a Mustang or you're riding something that's not registered? Well, then Coggins test used, your Coggins paper used if there's no registration. What does this sentence say? Coggins test used if no registration papers available or if they're grayed. So we're just gonna go by the Coggins papers. Now I've had people be like, what if people lie? What if people lie? Well, I can't control people lying, you know, so just try not to lie because this is a horse competition. Like, we're trying to be about the cowboy way of life. Cowboy way of life is not a bunch of liars, okay, to win something. So just tell the truth, okay? Now then, I'm just going to dismiss that. I'm not going to look for people trying to do something, okay? I'll just expect the best out of everybody. Next one, greenhorn, okay? Inexperienced horse, okay? No professional riders, okay? So here we go. Any age equine that has competed in 10 or less competitions in any discipline, fun shows, 4-H, obstacles, breed shows, okay? So, it has to competed in 10 or less competitions. And don't tell me like, well, it's done 10 or less with me, and then you like bought some $10,000 horse that has competed in, you know, sorting or something for like 3 years. So no, don't be trying to get through a loophole there. If that horse has competed in anything with any rider or any owner, then it's not considered a greenhorn, okay? This right here, this division I really like to protect because I love that no professional riders in it. I'm considered a pro now just because I make money doing lessons and stuff. My foot's caught. I had a 10-year-old horse that was freaking flighty, okay? And she was green and she was equal to a 2-year-old, okay? I know sometimes these horses get age on them and they need, it's nice to have a greenhorn division without a pro in there that's getting paid to break horses. It's really nice to have a division where you can bring up those horses, even if they're 8, 15, whatever they are. If they haven't competed, then you can put them in there and let them gain that experience without, you know, just coming in dead last every time, okay? So right here, this division is not open to professional riders. Any equine/rider pair may only compete in this division up to 2 years. If greenhorn competitor wins a competition series or place first or second at the national championship, the equine must move up the following competition season. Okay, so if you're in greenhorn and you win our competition series, you gotta move up, okay? Because there's no sense in staying in something where your horse is no longer like green. Okay, time to move on up, okay? All right, the last one I'm going to talk about today, and then I will see you next week on Tuesday. All right, so here we go. This is one of our new divisions also. I love this one, and I love the name. You know, I went onto Facebook and was like, help me come up with some names. People had some rude names, okay? So this one, I love the name of it. It is called Trailblazer, where the rider has to be 60 plus, okay? So you remember how in Buckaroo and in the Futurity and in Youth, we determined your age as of January 1? Well, that's the same thing with our Trailblazer. And I called it Trailblazer because, you know, Trailblazers go out in front, they're guiding our, you know, path for us. So that is why I did that for our 60 plus. So other competitions, I think they call it, I don't know what they call it. They call it, I know like the EXCA, I think they'll call it Ride Smart, you know, and I don't know what they call the other ones. Anyways, I like Trailblazer. Open to any level of rider. So this person could be a professional, they could be a novice, they could be whatever they are. Just can't be a youth, right? So any level of rider that's 60 plus, age determined as of January 1, and can show other equine in different divisions. So just because they might have one horse named Johnny that they ride in Trailblazer, then they could have a different horse that they ride. You know, they could have a horse named Magic that they ride in Maverick. Okay, whatever. But no double dipping, just like the youth. Okay, with where they would take the same horse and try to compete with it in 2 different divisions. All right. A Trailblazer can choose to compete in a different division. I already read that. Okay, so that right there is that. By the way, the Trailblazer, their pattern, I do believe it's the pattern that does not canter. Let me double check that. Yeah, it's a modified pattern, which means they don't canter in the pattern, but don't think that we won't ask you to canter. We could ask you to canter in obstacles or in trail. That's typically, if it is 1 time per competition, sometimes it's 0 times per competition, but I just want to make sure that you know, even though you're competing in a ranch horsemanship division that doesn't canter in that pattern, you could still be asked to canter in obstacles or in trail. So this right here concludes week 7 of dissecting the rule book. And if you missed the ones before this, go back. I do it every Tuesday, and I'm going to keep doing this, I think, for 20 weeks. Just wanted to go through and help you out with like the rule book and understanding country, tough trail, versatility. All right, y'all have a wonderful day. It's supposed to snow here, and it's already snowing. It snowed all yesterday. We have a refrigerator full, and we are ready to hibernate. Y'all have a wonderful day. And on Saturday, we do have a rulebook clinic that is free to attend. It is from 9 a.m. to noon. So just check the roads. I mean, I know they're going to be working on keeping them clear. So I hope to see y'all then. A lot of people are coming and going to pay their deposits. We have so many new faces to CT2V this year. So I know it's always nice to understand the rules and what goes in behind them. So I hope that you enjoyed this, and y'all stay safe out there.